I'd like to talk about how you can bring in the angels to come and assist you. When I first, I guess you could call it, started to awaken, I had health issues and I had my angel pass through my body to get my attention. And then years later, it was probably about 3 years later, I remember listening in on a radio station, and you could call in and you could talk with this medium, and this medium would bring through your angels to communicate for you. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is my moment. I'm going to call into this radio station and this person is going to channel my angels for me. And I was so excited. And I remember I was working from home, and when I called in, I was waiting, right? Because like if you don't call in at a certain time, like you're probably not going to get in. But I stayed on the line waiting. And it was probably about 2 to 5 minutes in of waiting on the line where I started to realize that the energy in my living room was changing. And what I started to realize was like this incredible energy was starting to form in my living room, and it felt like more than one energy. So it just felt like my entire living room got filled up with my angels. So what it was my angels were letting me know that they were there. They were supporting me and letting me know that they were there with me, even though I couldn't hear them at that time. And they wanted me to know that they were there lovingly supporting me, even though I wasn't getting through on this phone line. So, after about 10 minutes, I hung up the phone, but their energy was still there. It was so prevalent in the room with me. And it just got stronger and stronger and stronger as minutes went by. So I remember just talking with them, having a conversation with them, and, just telling them what I wanted help with in my life. And then it was just such a joy, such a blissful joy, having their energy open and expand like that. Most of the time they're not open like that. Otherwise, we would be feeling them all the time and be really quite blissed out of our minds, I would imagine. It'd be very distracting to live life with your angel's energy open all around you. It would be like way too intense. But I remember that day very vividly. And as soon as I was done talking with them, their energy just slowly dissipated. And then, my room was still pretty blissed out for several hours, but it was so comforting to know that my angels were always there with me. And anytime I wanted to call on them or talk to them, I just simply had to not necessarily pick up the phone and go to a medium per se, but talk with them, whether it was in my mind or out loud, or if I felt like writing it down on paper. I could write down a list of what I wanted them to help me with. I could also write down a list of the things that I wanted to give them to transmute so that they could take that into the light. So one list they often recommend is that we write a list of what we want in our lives, okay? What we want to co-create with them and manifest into our reality. And the second list is what we want to give them and give away. Take it. And you might have to give that whatever it is. Worries about finances, worries about this, fear, this, that, this. Doesn't really matter what it is. Just write it down on the list. And that's your giveaway list. So you're asking for the bring it in list, and then you have the giveaway list, okay? So after that, I just knew that they were there with me and that I could talk to them anytime I wanted. And, they often say, it's not the believing in them that matters. It's the asking them to help you that matters the most. So that is what I highly recommend you do as often as you feel you need, is talk to them and ask them to help you. Say you feel more resonated or drawn to your spirit guides. Talk to your spirit guides. The angels and your spirit guides all work in tandem with each other. So whether you're talking to your spirit guide or your angels or your ET Starseed family members, you just go ahead and talk to any one of them, okay? You ask them to help you. You ask them to take care of certain things. If you're having problems with certain people, ask them to transmute the energy of that situation. Okay, help them, ask them to step forward and help you with that situation. So that's what I highly recommend. I've always been drawn towards the angels. I feel like I've worked with them in other lifetimes, and I feel like I work with them on the other side. And so I highly recommend that you talk with them or your spirit guides as often as you guys need to. And that is how you speak and chat and bring in your angels to help you.